Welcome once again to Channel 18, and we have as our guest today Mary Anderson, Director of the Family Pantry, and Andy Gresham, Director of We Can. And they have a combined effort with some restaurants. They're going to tell you all about it. And Mary, why don't you start us off?
Okay, this is the second year for this program. The name of it is Making Ends Meet, and it's a collaboration between four nonprofits. Andy from We Can and I are here, but we're also working with the Community Development Partnership, and Jay Coburn's the director there, and the Community Action
Committee of Cape Cod and the Islands, Inc.
Very good. And Stephanie Cox is the executive director there. So it really was Jay's brainstorm, Jay Coburn. He was, I believe, in London and was in a restaurant, and when they got their bill, there was a little card similar to this where your credit card goes, and it suggested that you make a donation, and I believe that one was for the homeless.
Yeah, but it was also actually, it came it automatically was, that one was automatic.
Right.
That was a different program, but it gave him, he was also a restaurateur himself, and it gave him the brainstorm of, we could do this on Cape Cod. And he brought it back and he, talked to a few of us and said, what do you think? And we thought it was a great idea, especially being such a seasonal economy where there's so many people visiting here who don't really know what's really happening on the Cape. And what we were interested in, I mean, we're trying to raise funds, but we're also really trying to raise awareness about the fact that for many people on Cape Cod, it's tough to make ends meet. That's why we called it that. That, they need several jobs, and even with that, they're having trouble with housing. They're going to the food pantry. They're coming to us. They're struggling, and that's not the side of the Cape that visitors see.
No, it isn't.
And so we're really trying to make that a little bit more visible.
And this is the best way that, one of the best ways you've concocted to do that.
It seems to be a kind of a soft sell. There's no heavy pressure. We don't ask the wait staff to solicit. These materials are just provided to people. They can choose to make a donation or not. And as Andy said, a big piece of it for us also was awareness. And I think people like the fact we're not the only four nonprofits that help people on Cape Cod. There are a lot. But I think people like the fact that four nonprofits are working together to solicit funds and take care of the same people.
Right, right.
Very true.
Because we do that. I mean, that's a really good point. I mean, if you think about our four organizations, we do kind of different things. We don't duplicate each other. So, of course, we all know about the pantry, the great food pantry in Harwich that serves everyone on Cape Cod and also provides other services, which you'll talk about. We support women with a variety of different services. We have attorneys. We have a mentoring program. We have financial advisors. And then the Community Development Partnership is largely around housing and community development projects, helping people who are trying to start businesses, et cetera. And Community Action is really the Cape's anti-poverty agency, so they have a number of programs that really support, especially they have a child care resource and referral program, and other and I don't know if they run the shelter anymore. Oh yes, they do. They have a shelter and several other programs that really help low-income folks on the Cape. So we kind of a nice mix.
They really
the four
take care
us.
of a lot of different people
Correct.
that are all have needs. Really
Exactly.
is what you're serving.
Right.
People who have a need for a variety of things.
Correct.
Housing and food and just probably some people just want someone to talk to.
Oh, absolutely.
That's true.
That's
very
true, too.
true. Yep.
We
we
both
get a
know
lot
that.
of that. So the restaurants, we really like to give a shout out to our restaurants that have graciously supported us. Many of them were with us last year, and we have a few new ones this year. So maybe we should start with Harwich, since we're in Harwich, but then we'll give you the other ones. We have Rugies right in the center of Harwich, the 400 East out in East Harwich, and then Alouette and Land Ho in Harwichport.
Very good.
So the four of them are part of the program.
And then moving to Chatham, we have the Red Nun Bar and Grill and the Chatham Squire, which the Squire was with us last year, and they're going to do their best to help us. I just talked to them yesterday.
Those
Great.
are two very popular places.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Right.
And you really have the popular places in Harwich.
Yeah, we do. And then you want to start with Dennis? Or?
Sure. In Dennis, we've got the red pheasant, the ebb tide in Dennisport, the sailing cow also in Dennisport, Good Friends Cafe, which I have to find that one.
It's right. It's in West Dennis on, I think it's School Street.
Oh, okay, in West Dennis, and Norabella in West Dennis.
And that's on 28.
You have some really good restaurants there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're great.
They're real great.
And it's really been very gratifying how supportive the restaurateurs are, even when they're in their busiest
Right,
season.
right.
So we really appreciate that because we know that for the staff and the restaurants. And then moving to Eastham is Carew Restaurant right in Eastham, which is in the same plaza where the Community Development Partnership is. And then Embargo right in downtown Hyannis.
Then we've got Kate's in Brewster. I believe that's on 6A.
Yep.
And in Orleans, we've got 3, Abba, the Rock Harbor Grill, and the Yard Arm.
Okay.
And up in Provincetown, we have Devon's and Devon's Deep Sea Dive and Max. And then Mac Shack up in Wellfleet.
And then last but not least, we were very thrilled. I forget who got the call. Was it you,
I did,
Andy?
yeah.
Wendy's, which we weren't going to the restaurants that were chains and that, you know, kind of had quick turnaround, but they you should probably tell that story. They approached us.
Yeah, they approached us and said, how do you feel about us joining? And we'll put a canister out in our stores. And last year they raised $1,000 for us through this campaign, which was terrific because they're so busy. They have so much volume. And I think they did it in their Hyannis and Orleans Wendy's restaurants. So that was great. I don't know the time frame. I was kind of going to be in touch with them and say, now's the time. So I've been, I don't know, have you been dropping off your stuff?
I'm doing that today.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting out there and getting all the stuff to the restaurants. And
so those are our restaurants, and we'd appreciate listeners when you visit any of those restaurants to thank them for helping local Cape Codders make ends meet.
Yep, absolutely, because it's a big stretch for them. And,
Right.
And you know, we hope to raise some good money from locals and visitors alike. Last year, we received lots of checks from people who took the envelopes with them and sent them back, and Mary would tell us, oh, this one's from New Jersey and this one's from New York. So visitors did do that, which I just
Very
think
nice.
is really wonderful because
Yes.
when you go on vacation someplace, you know, often you don't really want to hear about things like this. But I think for some people, they think, well, I'm enjoying the Cape, I want to give back. And that's what we're hoping. You know, we know our locals are very generous to us and all the businesses and local folks who keep our organizations going strong. But it's very gratifying to us when people come here for a week-long or 2-week visit and decide to make a donation. That's a wonderful thing.
Now, how big a budget do you have?
It's a pretty small budget, and it was 100% underwritten by Cape Cod 5-cent Savings Bank. They're always very good to all 4 organizations, and we approached them to underwrite. Our only real costs were printing of the materials
And setting up the website.
setting up the website, which was minimal, just a couple of $100s. So the Cape Cod 5 gave us a grant last year that covered all of last year and this year's expenses.
Well, that was nice.
Yep.
And then our other sponsor is Wicked Local Cape Cod.
Right, that's our media sponsor.
And what do they do?
They provide ad space in, I believe it's the Provincetown Banner and
The Cape Codder,
Codder,
I want to say.
believe.
Yeah.
They're an advertising.
They're an advertising
agency.
Right,
ad, yes.
right.
And we're thrilled to have Channel 18 welcome us here to talk about the program, and we've been to a couple of other TV radio stations as well.
I'm sure you have. And by all means, get the word out.
The word
Right,
is out.
right.
The word is out.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to see what happens. This year we shifted the dates of the campaign a little bit. Last year we did, I think, August through late September.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
And this year we're starting a little earlier and going a couple of months. And we hope that doesn't prove to
Well,
be too
you will
difficult.
get different people because
Right.
so many people do 2-week vacations.
Exactly.
Right.
So you lose a lot of people that come in July
Right.
You know, and then they're not here in August. So
Exactly, yeah.
They can't contribute.
Right.
I think the thing that surprised me the most is well after the campaign was over, I was still getting these, because I'm the banker, I was still getting these envelopes in the mail, including 2 or 3 weeks ago, I got a check for $250.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
nice.
we don't get, we're not looking for everyone to donate 250. We're happy with the 5s and the 10s, and
But you
we-
would encourage
we'll
that.
certainly
Oh,
take
sure.
250.
We'll take it. We'll take
But I
it.
don't want to discourage anyone. That's not the type
No,
of program
no,
it
that's
is.
no.
But I find that interesting that even though the program itself is over, the word is out and we're still getting donations.
Well,
And,
that's the best part of it.
Right.
And it's interesting because, just thinking about the collections we got, we'd get many envelopes with a few dollars in them, 1 or 2, and then we'd get envelopes that had, 2 20s. Or most people didn't leave checks at the restaurant because that
Right.
was too cumbersome. They would
Yes.
take it with them to do that. But, and I think this year they're going to be able to use credit card. Is that right? On the website?
On the website.
Right.
The website has and did we mention the website? It
Oh,
is
no, we should mention it.
makingendsmeet.capecod.org. So if anyone is interested, you can see what all the restaurants are. We have links to their websites and link to the 4 organizations' websites. So again, it's makingendsmeetcapecod.org. Kind of a mouthful, but call us if you can't find
Right.
it.
Well, making ends meet is it, but
Right,
you got to remember
right.
the Cape Cod.
Right.
Right, exactly. But I think if you just Googled Making Ends Meet Cape Cod, you would find
You'd
it.
find us.
So,
Yeah, well, that's great.
That'd be great.
Well, is that it?
I think that's our story.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's a
thank
great
you.
story,
Yeah.
and we're glad you're here. And we would encourage everyone, when you do go out to eat, to try and remember these restaurants. I mean, this will be YouTube, so, it'll go all over. And so remember, we
Making-
can Cape Cod Inc. That's right.
Making Ends Meet
Making Ends-
CapeCod.org.
If I could just add one more thing, I want to make sure everyone knows that this is not intended to displace the gratuity for the wait staff.
Right.
Some of the wait staff, in fact, are our clients in the
Yes.
off-season. So we want to make sure this is not in place of the gratuity, and if you can only afford one, take care of the gratuity. But this
Right.
is for people that have a little extra.
Something a little extra.
Right.
Well, that's a very good point.
Yeah, right.
So-
And I think maybe the other thing we want to say is our 4 organizations have been working on other things together, and so we joined forces, but we're very aware, like you said earlier, that there are many other really terrific organizations on the Cape who are helping Cape Codders make ends meet. These are just 4 that happen to get together for this program. So,
Right.
we don't want to in any way imply that we're the only 4, and we understand that.
But you don't want to take away from that either.
Right. But, just to be clear, because there are,
Yes, I
really
understand.
terrific organizations.
Right.
Well, there you have it, folks.